Hello Solution. Just making a quick video here. I want to show you how to resolve that Dolphin controller problems. As long as your controller is detected in Windows, then everything should be fine. But there's probably a setting in Dolphin that's making your keyboard work and not your actual gamepad or controller. So this is the same drive as your drive. A lot more files here because I have my Steam games and stuff like that on the same drive. But same drive as yours. What you want to do is double click on Hyperspin Live. You want to go down to emulators, go to Dolphin Dev Builds and not Dolphin Ishiruka. I don't use that anymore. It's an older version of Dolphin. It used to be good before a recent Dolphin developer build, which is why the folder is called Dev Builds because I have the most updated developer builds here with a lot of fixes and changes. So anyway, click on Dolphin Dev Builds, go in there, click on this folder. And what you want to do is launch dolphin.exe, not Dolphin Qt2. You want to launch dolphin.exe. Go ahead and click on that. All right. So once that loads up, and keep in mind what you're about to see might look a bit different than your Dolphin because I've already made some changes here before I started the recording. So anyway, click on controllers. Click on you want to pay attention to the GameCube controller section. Make sure port 1 is set to standard controller, which it should be, and click on configure. So you'll see the GameCube controller configuration screen here, and most likely what's happening is this device option right here is set to D-input keyboard mouse. Most likely that's why your pad won't work, but your keyboard's working. So what you want to do is you want to create a new profile. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to change this option here from keyboard mouse to X input gamepad. Okay, X input gamepad, because if you have a PS3 controller or any new controller, PS3, Xbox One, it should be running X input, right? So make sure it's at the X input gamepad. Once you have that, what you want to do is create a profile, because I've noticed that if you don't create a profile and save this, there's a chance that Dolphin can load up the next time you use Hyperspin. Dolphin can load up, and it will default back to keyboard, even though you made some changes. So definitely, we're gonna make a profile. After you change it to X input, you want to go to profile here. I just call it Hyperspin. I've deleted it, that's why you don't see it right now, but we'll just remake it together. I call it Hyperspin. Just go ahead and just type out Hyperspin. What you want to do here is you want to set your buttons. So you go through your button config and make sure my controller is plugged in. There we go. So you want to click on everything and set your buttons. This part is very important, not just to make your games work, but if you don't set your buttons after changing the device to gamepad, Dolphin may not actually save these changes. So you definitely want to, set your buttons to how you want them. I set the buttons to kind of emulate a GameCube controller on my PlayStation 4 controller. So everything here, so it feels just like a GameCube. I love GameCube. I actually have a real GameCube. I don't play it anymore. I play all the games on Dolphin because you can have better graphics. So yeah, I have a real GameCube controller as well. Also, just a side note, if you are a big fan of GameCube, I definitely recommend that you get the GameCube adapter for Wii U. That's something you might want to Google, just look about that. You can actually use a real GameCube controller, but anyway, let's get back to this. Set your buttons. That's going to be X on my PlayStation. This is going to be square. This is going to be Y, Z, start. My left control stick, down, left, right. This stuff down here I don't mess with too much. This can kind of change the accuracy of the control stick. I always think the default is fine, and definitely don't mess with that unless you really know what you're doing or you do some research on that. C stick is going to be the right stick, those yellow buttons on the GameCube controller. I use my right stick for that, so I just go right stick up, right stick down, right stick left, and right stick right. Once again, don't touch these options down here or it can cause some serious stick accuracy problems. Um, D-pad up, down, left, and right. And you want to do your triggers back left, back right. Press in on the left stick and you want to press in on the right stick. Once again, don't change these unless you absolutely know what you're doing. Rumble. You want to click on Rumble here. Make sure Rumble is also set to X input gamepad and not keyboard, because your keyboard probably can't rumble. I think some keyboards can rumble, but most likely it can't. So make sure it's set to X input gamepad. Boom, boom, boom. You're good to go. Now what you're gonna do is after you type your hyperspin here, what you want to do is you have your X input saved, you have your buttons laid out how you want it, you have your profile name. Now you're gonna click save. Boom. And just like that, I always click it twice to be safe. It'll be saved. Now you can click close. Go back to configure, just make sure everything is how you left it. And this is what I do. I close everything down. And then I reopen Dolphin. And what I do is I check to make sure that the setting actually saved. The reason why is because it's software. Software can always tell you something and then it didn't actually save. It didn't save your settings. Um, but because we created a profile, I noticed that Dolphin is much better at saving settings if you do create a profile. So we're going to go back there. We're going to click on standard controller for port 1. Here you can see everything is set. I think this is a problem. Actually, my mistake. I think I may have sent you the drive with this set to keyboard by accident. I do apologize for that. But this fix should take care of that problem for you. Let me know if you still have any problems with GameCube. Just make sure you come back here, reopen it. Make sure everything is still set to how you want it. You don't have to click on the profile here. It'll just load automatically. You only click on the profile if you want to modify it somehow. You'd click on it and click load. If you come back here and you see X input gamepad and all your buttons, then you're fine. Go ahead and just close down Dolphin. Okay, so Dolphin's closed down. I'm just gonna go ahead now and open up my rocket launcher. I'm not sure if you know what rocket launcher is, but rocket launcher is the program that works with hyperspin. It actually launches the game. So hyperspin actually doesn't launch games. It can, but it's very slow at doing so. So we use rocket launcher to actually launch the games. It's a lot quicker if you just want to test games and not actually play a game at the time. You're just testing stuff. I usually will go through rocket launcher. So I don't know if it's already open. Yeah, it's already open. So there we go. There we go. Okay, boom. Rocket launcher. All right. So now rocket launcher, but because we made those changes to GameCube, I'm just gonna load up a small GameCube game, and we will see what's happening there. Actually, my paths are a bit messed up right now. I forgot. So I'm gonna have to change the location as to where my GameCube games are. I changed them around. When I'm like building a drive for someone, I kind of change them around and test on, because it's kind of complicated. Sometimes my drive is not called G, so I'll change stuff around, move stuff around. So I'll just go ahead and locate my GameCube games if I remember. I need to name my drives a bit better. I get kind of confused sometimes. I think it's here. And here we go, GameCube. Should be about 600 GameCube games in here. So, boom, there we go. And they're all green, which means they're all found and they should be loadable. So let's go ahead and just find a small one real quick. Let me search by size. There we go. We can see some really small ones here. All-Star Baseball. So let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and load All-Star Baseball. I've never played this game, by the way, but we'll just load it. All right, let's load up. Let's see if my controllers work now. Because yeah, I was having that problem as well, where only my keyboard, I didn't, the setting must have changed. What happens is I sometimes I will update these emulators, and because I have so many, sometimes like a very small setting will kind of just slip by, and I think that's what happened here. I was updating Dolphin and all these emulators, and I think I forgot to change that one setting with the keyboard. Um, anyway, let's go ahead and get that loaded up. Let's see what happens here. Okay, we're loading up. Found my memory card. I can't tell if my controls are working yet. It's doing its thing. Now loading. Alright, we're loading. I don't know if it found a memory card. I'm pretty sure, or any save that. I'm pretty sure I've never. But here we go. Yeah, it's definitely working. Let me go ahead and turn down my audio. But yeah, so as you can see, GameCube is working after the changes I just made. So as long as your controller is working in Windows, it should be working. And I'm using my controller right now. Matter of fact, I'll disconnect my controller. You should see something pop up on the screen saying I disconnected it. Oh, it doesn't show up right now. Sorry. Oh, yeah. See, if you look on the right side there, you see where it says SCP plugged in. I just plugged it back in. So I'll plug it out. It says DualShock 4. It's my controller. See, it just unplugged down here. So, yeah, now nothing works. Boom, go ahead and plug it back in. There we go. Plugged in port 1, as you can see. And there we go. Boom, we're good to go. This game actually works very well. If you wanted to play some old school baseball. But yeah, anyway, it's working fine. If your other controllers are working, well, it means that your controller is working in Windows. And yeah, those changes should get you going. Let me know on eBay if you have any further issues, and I'll definitely help you out. Any feedback, good feedback that you leave me, I will greatly appreciate. And as you can see, I'm always up and willing to help you out. If you find any issues, I'm also planning on upgrading some stuff in the future, and I'm gonna see if I can make those updates available when like media updates, and maybe adding on additional systems and extra games and things like that. And I'll make those updates available in a way where you can just drag and drop and get all the updates. You don't have to configure anything. Just I'll configure everything for you. You just drag and drop. So I'm thinking about getting that going as well. So yep, thanks again, and you have a good day. Bye bye.